Alex, wonderful sweater.
Thank you. Wish I had two of them. I'd be wearing them both.
And thank you in advance for tomorrow morning.
I'm gonna try to get Julie Merrill did bounce on, but okay. You're gonna have to unmute Tim.
Just like the lady on the Zoom instructions said, it would pop up and tell me I was on mute. Is all you did was turn it off and restart the meeting?
I had to click thing that allowed panelists to use their video.
Yeah, I
And,
got you.
and then it appears on the 26th, we're going to have a lot more updates. So I'll have to look back before the next meeting too. And then let me see here. Well,
Hey, Jim,
yep.
on the minutes from last meeting, I'm gonna make a motion to approve as amended. An amendment, you had our tap out time at like 9:18, it was 8:18.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not, but I was in bed by 9:18, trust me.
We'll clarify somewhere in there that none of us get overtime. So
All right, well, it looks like it's 7 o'clock. We have a quorum. All the council members are on, so we'll call to order tonight's meeting, the Monday, February 15th, regular session council meeting. And I'll start off by saying the Pledge of Allegiance, if you'd all join me. I pledge
I pledge
allegiance
allegiance to the flag
Flag
of the United
of the
States
United
of
States
America
of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
and
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
under
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
liberty and
for all.
justice for all.
We'll just take a minute to think of all those people tonight that are out in the cold and having to work and living outside. It looks like it's getting worse and worse every minute. And Jim, when you're ready, if you'd take roll call, please.
go ahead. Apologize, just getting a couple things moved around here. Okay. Trustee Holmes,
Here.
Trustee Wagner,
here.
Trustee Olson,
Here.
Trustee Merrill,
Here.
Trustee Reister,
Here.
President Pro Temp Keller,
Here.
President Frisbee.
Here.
And just for the record, if anyone is remoting in from outside of the village of Vicksburg, if you please can indicate that. Otherwise, the minutes will reflect you are all inside the village of Vicksburg calling in.
Didn't look like Julie was in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Well, we,
Yeah. Julie, are you in the village?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
well, we have an agenda in front of us. Everybody's had an opportunity to look at it. I've talked to a couple of council members over the weekend and we had no changes. Jim, was there any changes to this printed agenda?
No, staff doesn't have a change. I know Trustee Keller will reference the minutes will be indicating a change, but the agenda for us is the same.
Well, having none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Trustee Wagner, I so move.
Trustee Olson, I second.
Trustee Wagner with the motion supported by trustee Olson. Roll call vote is trustee Holmes,
Yes.
trustee Wagner,
Yes.
trustee Olson,
Yes.
trustee Merrill, I'll come back to trustee Merrill, trustee Reister,
Yes.
President Pro Temp Keller,
Yes.
President Frisbee,
Yes.
and again, trustee Merrill.
Yes.
Okay,
There she is.
Adversation.
All right, so we have an agenda in front of us. Looks like we have no scheduled appearances and no public official appearances. Jim, do you see anyone on the line?
I'm gonna have to bounce out of we do have Jeff Ritzma, who Alex and I'll stay after the meeting, but Jenny and Jackie are on, and I know both know, kind of put the cursor over the screen and hit the yellowed raised hand, as this time is for agenda or non-agenda items with a time limit of 4 minutes on the comments. So if you do have comments, if you can highlight the Zoom, and at the bottom of it, you'll see a yellow hand. Underneath it, it says raise hand. If you click on that button, we'll go ahead and call on you. I'll give it about another 10 seconds. And pretty confident everyone on the call knows how to do it. So I don't see any hands raised. Mr. Frisbee, I can bring back the shared agenda.
Well, then we'll move back to the general consent agenda. I understand there was one change that we need to enter in on the adjournment time of 8:18. But everyone's had an opportunity to look at it, find it accurate. Any comments or questions?
Jim, I had sent you a few comments on the minutes. Did you receive those?
I did, but we had already distributed it, so I wasn't redistributing it. It was on, can you go ahead, Mr. Wagner, on,
Yeah, just two little corrections on item 4, the final sentence, written 7 and then 4 in parentheses. Just making sure if that was 7 or if it was 4. And then in item 12 for trustee Olson's comments, written Prairie Run instead of Prairie Rond.
yeah, that was there.
And those were my only two corrections.
Whose comments was the Prairie Run?
Denny Olson's.
Okay. That noted. And then the other one was on, there
The full-
were,
You said 7, wrote
Yeah.
out 7 and then you put 4.
yeah, no, there was 4. So I'll change that. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, so we'll log in those changes. We have a motion to accept the consent minutes, general consent agenda.
Trustee Reister, I move that we approve the general consent agenda as corrected.
Trustee Wagner, I support.
Trustee Reister with the motion to approve the general consent agenda with the 3 corrections that were stated, supported by trustee Wagner. Roll call vote, trustee Holmes,
Yes.
trustee Wagner,
Yes.
trustee Olson,
Yes.
trustee Reister,
Yes.
President Pro Temp Keller,
Yes.
President Frisbee,
Yes,
trustee Merrill.
Yes.
Motion passes. Under the village council actions items, second quarter budget amendments. The council knows last Tuesday night, I believe it was, the financial committee and myself spent a couple hours together reviewing both the background of the document, but a real quick summary is every year we start to amend the budget as we head down the final stretch. Both second quarter amendments, we'll have third quarter amendments, and then June, the last meeting in June, we'll have our fourth quarter amendments. And what these amendments are making sure that our fiscal year budget is accurately portraying the revenue that we're capturing and expenses. As you know, when we prepped and approved this budget, we did very conservatively with estimates of state shared revenue and the like. And these amendments are reflecting some actual numbers, revenue that came in higher, both in real property tax, $200,000 higher, along with some other listed out. We sent this to the council last week for their review. So if President Frisbee is comfortable with it, I'll just open it up for any questions anyone might have on the listed amendments.
No, I'm totally comfortable with it. The finance committee, myself, we met with the staff last week and went over line item by line item for an explanation and movements, and we were all content with it. But if anyone else has some questions to ask of staff, please do so now. Well, hearing none, Jim, that's a good sign.
Yeah, if we can have a motion for approval, these amendments will take council approval, and then within the next 2 weeks, we'll have all of these inputted into the system and be reviewing it again with the financial committee next month.
Well, I entertain a motion to accept these changes into by the staff.
Trustee Keller, so moved.
There it is.
Trustee Holmes, second.
The motion to support and approve the second quarter budget amendments made by Trustee Keller and supported by Trustee Holmes. A roll call vote. Trustee Reister.
Yes.
Trustee Merrill.
Yes.
Trustee Olson.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Holmes.
Yes.
President Pro Temp Keller.
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion.
I did want to update the council. The last meeting, we had informed you that our 2014 server was going to need to be updated. The technician came down and determined that what is stored on that server actually did not need a replacement server. They recommended that, and it mainly stores some stuff for the police department. They had other IT ways to do that, so it will save us about $4,000 by having the IT person come on site. So we wanted to update the council on that. I'll pause there if there's any questions. The second is the infrastructure. We did report out to the public. There would be removal of trees. We did it at multiple council meetings as well as posting on social media. And as you've probably seen, the trees downtown have been removed, minus 4 of them that will be transplanted, the 4 this spring that we were able to save. We also been in communication with the company running this project as well as our engineering firm, and you'll start to see large traffic signs that flash messages. We will have some roads that begin to have alternate routes starting on March 1st. With some of the work that's being done. We're finalizing that this week, so we get accurate information out both to our citizens, the schools, and those that definitely are in the need to know. Alex is in communication with Brian Newhoff's contact person, and we'll be communicating through social media and other avenues as it progresses. We'll have weekly updates. And as it gets closer to downtown, we'll certainly be updating our business owners and communities on a more frequent basis. But be happy to pause there and answer any questions anyone might have.
Most of this will be over on the east side.
There is work on Washington Street in March, and it has to do with container box being set up. So I'm not sure if the entire street will be completely blocked. That's what we're working out right now. But that is a 30 to 40 day project, that aspect of it. But the other is located over on Spruce Street.
Okay, thank you.
I know it's cold and windy and snowy outside, but this might set a record for the shortest meeting if we continue like this.
The
Sounds
plow team has been notified that it might be a 2 o'clock wake up call. So
Yeah, Randy knows the drill. Well, excellent. I will just say on that subject that, we all speak as a unified voice. We're going to have a lot of disruption to the community in the next 15 months. And there's going to be a lot of questions asked. I would just encourage us all to, before we just speak to anybody about it, make sure we know our facts, make sure we consult with the staff. And if at all possible, just direct it to Alex Lee. Let Alex be our voice of the community through this, so we have a unified message going out. So I would just ask everybody to think twice before we, jump in and make comments about what's. And I'd encourage everybody to work through the staff and Alex. So that's what we brought him in. That's what he's a professional at. And let's just let them take care of that work and do the heavy lifting for us. So if there's no other discussion in that regard, we can jump to trustees time, and
Well, Tim, real quick.
Yes.
If I might, I just remind all the trustees, especially the new trustees that are on, this whole project is not new. We were discussing this project and we had hearings on this back when I was chairman of the planning commission, which was at least 3+ years ago. So this has been in process now for quite a while. Just so, if anybody comes up to you and says, well, when did this has been in an ongoing process for a number of years now. So just so the new members especially understand, this hasn't just been a fly by night where we just all of a sudden decided to do this. We had a lot of discussions in public forums at the planning commission and at the council level. So I want to let everybody know that this predates even Rick and I getting on the council. This thing was moving. So
I'd just like to reiterate what Tim said too, that I think since we have Alex at our disposal, I think we should use him as our spokesperson. Then all of the information coming out will come from the same person. Everybody will get the same message. And I think that's really important, because when you get all different little messages going on, that's when you get into trouble. So I would very much like to see everybody just direct if they get somebody that asks them about it, say, Alex Lee is the person who's directing that. So please call him.
and the reality is
Sorry,
nobody likes
Alex.
change. Nobody likes change.
I
and
know.
even though this is going to be changed for the better down the road, it's going to impact everybody in this village, regardless of who they are. And
And there will be people who will say, we never heard anything about it. So,
that's why I wanted to make the point on record that this project was formulated way back. This isn't just something that all of a sudden was decided a year ago. This was going on when I was on the planning commission back in 2016, 2017. So this is not new. So, and it's needed. It is needed.
absolutely is. And it's important to have one voice. So, Alex, sorry, but you're going to be our voice.
Tag, you're it.
Yeah.
You know, that and also the timing of this, you know, some will perhaps question, you know, from the COVID and all the impacts it's had on the community, and then we're proceeding ahead with this. This wheel has been rolling down the hill for a while, and there was no stopping it, right? We have obligations on our loan and our borrower, the USG, and we took some income from it. We signed a contract with them, and we have to start digging regardless of how it impacts us. So,
Yeah, there's a window to do this. And
right,
we're in the window.
absolutely.
I think a good point on the timing of it is we did close this loan very much on purpose in this timing because of the low interest rates, which over the course of 40 years is going to save this village just shy of, I think it's $6.5 million.
Amazing.
We waited and waited, and it dropped every week. It seemed like it was coming down to, you know, a couple percent or a couple of quarters, it would drop down 25 or 0.25%. And then the next week it would drop down another 0.25%. So I think we got the best bang that anybody could have gotten for this village and their and our taxpayers. So I just encourage that. So I'll reach out to Ms. Reister if you have more comments you'd like to make to the group.
No, I think I'm all set. Thanks.
Mr. Wagner,
I'm all set tonight, Tim. Thank you.
Mr. Olson.
I spoke with Chief McMillan earlier today, and he just wants to advise everybody, please slow down. We had 2 fatal accidents in the area recently. And so it is bad. I know there was one out by States Golf Course. Someone was trapped in the vehicle and that, but he just basically wants to remind everybody, slow down. And everybody, I know it, we hate COVID. We hate everything about it. There is a bright shining light at the end of the tunnel. Flu is down. Last year at this time, we had 465,000 people in hospitals with flu. This year, we have 164 total. That's a big drop. The masks are working, whether you like them or not. I hate them too, but my wife make it a permanent thing. She likes not having the flu, and we both got it last year. Thank you, Mr. Mallory. So anyhow, so but yeah, just stay safe. I know it's going to be nasty tonight, but my daughter's in Texas and I got a friend that's in Ontario, and wind chills in Ontario right now are 41 degrees below zero. So I think we're getting off light. So stay safe.
Mr. Holmes,
I'm good.
Mr. Keller.
Just want to wish the DPW for the next 24 hours, safe driving, and just do what you guys do for us. Appreciate everything you do. So
Thank you in advance.
Ms. Merrill.
Don't know if she heard you.
Julie Merrill.
I'm barely, this is
Oh, she's getting cut out again.
my a third of what's going on. So anyway,
All right.
you guys take meeting.
Enjoy New Orleans if you hear us. That is, if you get out of the airport on time.
I can leave here.
Yep. I just, quickly, we'll wrap it up. I just wanted to talk about, the Elected Officials Academy being put on by the MML. The staff and the village has, stepped up. If anybody has any interest, it's called a weekender. You know, typically it's at, an offsite facility, but with the COVID now, it's going to be a Zoom call. It's next, Friday, the 26th for 3 hours in the evening after work and 3 hours in the morning Saturday. And if anybody would be so desire to attend it, the village will cover your cost to join that. There is a low fee for it. So I'd ask that you just let Mr. Mallory know right away if you'd like to go to it. The things I've been to, I'm gonna join this one. I kind of wish it was in Mackinac, but so I just encourage you to reach out. It's a great learning opportunity for us. Secondly, in February of 19, the council unanimously asked the staff to provide a report about the various subunits of government. And that was completed in April of 2019. So some of the newer council trustees may not have it. So I'll send it out to a couple of us at a time. So we're not quorum, but it was as a result of a council vote. It's really good information, and I would encourage all of us to revisit it. And I think that'll help kind of set some of my thoughts going down the road, as I spoke to a couple of weeks ago about, a forward-looking, maybe a subunit or a group of people to just take a look at, see if we're in the right direction, if we're heading down the right road. And I think that's a good basis. Jim had to remind me of it, and I went back and looked at it, and I think that'll ground me. It'll ground a lot of us and where we were at then and where we're at today. And I think it gives us a good roadmap of where we want to be here in 5 to 10 years. So I'm going to send that out. I encourage you all to review it and read it. And there's really good information in there for us. And that was all I had for tonight. Being any last minute questions or additions, we'll call this meeting adjourned. All right. Cheers, everyone. Stay warm, stay safe. Like Denny says, Chief says, let's not get crazy on the roads because it's pretty nasty out there.
Just don't go on the roads if you don't have to.
Amen.
It's
All right, all. Thank you.
7:25.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
We'll stick on, Jeff.